Hi, this is Lori, and welcome to my series on the Pico W. In this episode, we're going to learn how to use a bicolor LED matrix, and we'll make some fun holiday graphics. Let's get going. Let's first talk about the bicolor LED matrix we'll be using in this episode. I purchased this one from Adafruit, and it includes the LED matrix and also this backpack that you solder onto the LED matrix, and some header pins so that you can use it on a breadboard if you want to. It has some quick connects as well. So it's a pretty nice a board to make it easier to use the LED matrix. And again, what's special about this one, as opposed to the ones that we typically find in our beginning electronics kits, is this one has both red and green LEDs inside of each of those cells. So you can turn on the red and have red. You can turn on the green, have green. And if you turn on both of them, you're going to get a yellow-orange color. So you end up getting three colors out of this LED matrix as opposed to just a single color. And it uses this HT16K33 driver chip to provide I2C communication that we can communicate with our Pico using this. Adafruit supports CircuitPython. That's their version of MicroPython. I'm not a big fan of that. I just prefer to learn one kind of MicroPython. So I went searching to see if I could find a library that would work with MicroPython, and I found Smittytone's library, and I've included a link to that library, and you'll have to go get it and put it onto your Pico. I'll also put a link in the description to that library as well. Works perfectly, and if you do like CircuitPython, it also works with CircuitPython as well. Now, when you buy this kit, you do have to solder it all together, and I'm not a big soldering person, but I managed to get it done, and it wasn't too bad. So if you're interested in it, it's a fun component, and hopefully you'll see that you'll enjoy writing some code for it. Well, it's a pretty simple circuit to hook this LED matrix up to our Pico. We'll just need to power and ground it, and then connect it up to two pins that can do the I2C communication. So pretty simple circuit for us to use this. Now we're going to learn how to put text onto our matrix and scroll that, how to turn on and off individual pixels, both the red and green or both at the same time. That's all handled inside of the library that Smittytone put together. But he also put together a nice tool so that you could design your own glyphs or little pictures that will fit in that 8x8 matrix. And it's specifically designed so that you can use it with the bicolor matrix so that you can see what's green, what's red, and what's going to be that yellow-orange. And then it will output the hex code that you need to put into your program to have the picture displayed on the LED matrix. Now that's really nice, but it only works for macOS as far as I can find. I searched around trying to see if there was a Windows tool out there that somebody else may have made. So I didn't find anything, but if you have something, please put it in the comments so that other people can find a tool like that, because I really found this tool for my Mac to be wonderful to use. If you don't have that, the other option would be to use, there's several of them out there for the monochrome displays that would only show one color at a time. And I just put a link here to one that I knew from Gurgle Apps that works really nicely and could give you the hex code that you need to do that. So then you would just have to do the red and then the green and put them together. And I'm going to go through how Smittytone handles the red and green pieces of the glyph so you can kind of figure out how to piece it together to make it work. I just thought I'd show an example of how the interface for that ASCII software works, just so you have an idea of how you go about using it. So you can just click here, you can choose which color you want, and as you click on any of the little squares here, you'll fill it up with that color. And then you can see you'll click this button, grid to values, so this grid to the values that you need in hex. and you can see it'll output that for you. So you can also, if you have a string that you don't remember what it looked like, you can paste that back in, and you can have it, you can do values to grid, and it'll show you what that picture is going to look like. So it's pretty nice that you can have the 3 colors, and it'll automatically recognize that wherever there's orange, both the red and the green need to be on in that particular cell. Well, I put this slide together. It's kind of complicated, so hopefully it'll make some sense. It took me a while to piece it apart because I wanted to understand what was the code that went into making a picture. So I made a pretty simple picture here that I want to put onto the LED matrix with red, green, and then some of the orange-yellow colors. And I would see what it would output, and it took me a while to figure out what was the arrangement. So how it works is it works in columns. So the first 2 elements in there, the first 2 hex numbers, are for the first column, column 0, column 1, all the way up to column 7. And it's the green color first, and then the red color. So if you come on here and you look at column 0, I filled it up with zeros because nothing is green in the first column, so you can see that in fact the hex for 0, 0 is all zeros, 8 zeros, right? And we put it into binary view. And then for the red, well, we had the three of them turned on, and then the rest are off, and so you can see that the hex code that we get is 07, and that's this code here, and so you can see how that kind of matches up. And if you kind of go along, you'll see how it works out. So here in the column 2, that's where both of the colors are on, and you can see they both are the 07 with them on. So that's how it outputs that. And so this is what I mean about if you have to use a monochrome one, you'll have to kind of piece it together where you put the green piece first and then the red piece. So you design each piece, get your hex code for that, and then make this a string of the hex numbers with the green, red, green, red, green, red. So that's what's really nice about the tool you put together, and I wish I could find one for Windows too, because that sure would be nice. Well, that's how it works, and hopefully this will help you use that matrix if you're a Windows user. All right, let's test this out a little bit. So we'll run this kind of bit by bit. We'll paste it into the shell and try out some of the functions in the library. So we'll need to import the modules, and we'll also need to make sure that these 2 pieces, these 2 programs for the library are in our lib folder on our Pico, so that's where it is for me. And we need to set up our I2C bus for the correct pins that we've connected it to. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy those in and make sure that all still works. All right, now that went in fine. And then we'll set up our LED matrix, and we can also set the brightness. I've got it set to 10 right now. And then you can also change the orientation, and I found to use it in the orientation that I have it, I needed to put the angle to 2. So it just kind of goes in 90-degree segments, 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead and check that out. Hopefully I still have that right. There we go. So that's in. The other thing, I put this comment here because this is from the code for Smittytone's library, and you can refer to the colors as none, green, red, or yellow, or you can refer to them with the numbers, which is pretty convenient. But I have found this isn't consistent across some of the methods in this library, so I do try to point out where I noticed the difference. Maybe it's something I'm doing not quite right. So let's try one of the first things that you might want to do is just fill your display with a specific color. So we can use the display fill, and then if you put the draw method right at the end, it'll just fill it and draw it all in one step. So we'll go ahead and try that. So let's fill it with red, and hopefully that'll work. Yeah. A little bit of flicker on the camera. And now let's try filling it using the number way. So this should give us a green fill. So let's try that. All right. Yep, there's our green. And if we want to fill it with the yellow, well, that'll be both the red and green on at the same time. So let's see what that'll look like. And there's our yellow. It looks a little more orange. I'm looking up at the screen to see what it looks like in the film, but it looks more orange in real life. And then if we need to clear the display, which is an important thing, we can fill with ink equals 0, and that'll turn it all off. All right, so that's the fill. Now if we want to turn on individual pixels, we can use the display pot method. And this is one method that I found. It seemed to me that the red and green are reversed. So that's why I put this little comment here. And if you rotated the screen around, then knowing what's rows and columns can be tricky. So I just recommend playing with this a little bit and try something like this where you light up all the corners and use some different colors. It doesn't show super well on the screen, unfortunately, but let's give that a try. So I'm going to paste this in. And there we go. We can see. I'm just taking a look at my monitor. Yeah, it's hard to see the difference between the red and the orange when you just have a few of them lit. So we'll clear that out, but that's how you do just individual pixels. Clear our display. And then if we want to put some text and scroll it, like maybe we want to send the message Happy Holidays, we can use the scroll text method, and you can give it a color for the letters and also a color for the background. So let's first just try using red and the background being just nothing. So you can see it go by there, Happy Holidays. And you can control the speed and so forth of the scrolling as well. Those are some options. Let's try doing something with the paper having a different color. It looks good on this. It actually looks pretty good on the screen too. I was gonna say it looks good in person. It's very colorful. All right, so that's how we scroll text, and let's just go ahead and clear the display and enjoy that. All right. Well, now it's time to get some nice holiday images onto our matrix. So I made a separate program. We set up everything the same. I actually took the brightness down to 0, and it seems to film a little bit better, I think, at the 0. So same orientation. And then I made a little dictionary of some pictures. So I used the ASCII tool to draw a Christmas tree, a wreath, a Santa hat, a stocking, a snowflake, a present, and a candy cane. So we'll loop through the dictionary, and of course it'll because dictionaries don't have any order, so it'll pop up in different order than what we have here, and we'll display that we're using the set icon method and draw that to the screen, and then we'll sleep for 3 seconds so that we can see each of the pictures, and then we'll clear the display to end the program. All right, let's let this one go. There we go. Yeah, it's looking pretty good on the monitor too. It's a little dim in person, but it looks a lot better on the monitor. So yeah, there we go. My candy cane is special. Awesome. Well, that's my holiday episode to end the year. Hoping to start making maybe more videos about robots this year. Be using the Pico to make some robots, but probably some other types of boards as well. Maybe even Raspberry Pis and ESP32s. I don't know. I'm going to try to build a few kits and then do some of my own 3D printing and making some robots that other people have designed, and then trying to take them to the next step, and then, hopefully design my own robot, 3D print it, and put it together. Not sure I'll get that all done in 1 year, but that's the plan for 2024. Well, I hope you have a great holiday and a happy new year, and thank you for watching.